Okay, everyone, so this is going to be part 4, and we're going to go over 1.9, so Unit 1, Skill 9, Limiting and Excess Reactants. And so one thing to remember is when you're talking about reactants, remember that when you have an equation, your reactants are on the left side and products are on the right side. So when you look at a chemical equation, you can't have a limiting reactant that's on the right side of the arrow because it's not a reactant. And so when we're looking at a concentration versus time graph, okay, a limiting reactant will start high and reaches 0 before the excess reactant hits 0 on the x-axis. And I'll explain what we mean by this. So this means that limiting reactants always run out before the excess reactant. So limiting reactants run out, excess reactants you have left over. And so the question says to sketch a graph on the left that depicts the following chemical reaction where nitrogen is going to be the limiting reactant and hydrogen is going to be our excess reactant. So when we look at this graph, okay, your limiting reactant, nitrogen, okay, so let's say nitrogen is going to be this one. If it's the limiting reactant, that means it's going to start out kind of high, and it's going to slowly start to decrease, but it will hit 0, and then it'll just stay 0. Whereas the excess reactant, so let's say our excess reactant is hydrogen, okay, hydrogen could potentially start at the exact same amount, but when it decreases, when limiting reactant hits 0, the other one has not hit 0 yet. So then it kind of flattens out and there's leftover. So if this one is nitrogen and this one is hydrogen, this one runs out and this one has leftover. Now, if we want to look at our product, NH3, because it's a product, products start with 0, okay? You don't have any at the very beginning because you haven't started. And so a product is going to start increasing, but as soon as it gets to the part where your limiting reactant runs out, that means you can't make any more. And so that's why it flattens out after this. So this would be NH3, our product. And we know it because it's increasing. Reactants decrease over time in your experiment and products increase, okay? And so product, let's write that down. Reactants decrease and products increase. And so we looked at that with like a data table and with graphs and definitions. And so this is kind of like a really quick review of that. And so that's going to be part 4 because we're going to do 10, 11, and 12 together in one video. So that's a literally very short 3-minute video.